Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 Premiere Awards, celebrating the best in film that 2021 had to offer. I am your host for tonight, Logan Ferris, and a few weeks ago I polled my Instagram to get both the nominees and the winners for tonight, and for the next episode, which will have the Golden Brox Cheer Awards, which will be celebrating the worst in film. If you want to be part of the voting process for next year, there's a link to my Instagram down in the description, and I don't want to waste any time, so let's just jump right into it. Since comic book films don't really get that much love in terms of award shows, I decided to start this off with Best Comic Book Film. And the nominees are Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Black Widow, and Venom Let There Be Carnage. And the winner is Spider-Man No Way Home. Should I just awkwardly applaud after all these? It's a dead silent room. I'm not going to add any applause in the background because that's just corny. It's no surprise that Spider-Man No Way Home won this. I didn't see it going any other way. And like I said, this is all based off my Instagram, so obviously that was not my favorite comic book film of the year. I would have gone with Shang-Chi. But again, this is not based on my opinion. This is based on what other people said. So let's move on to the acting categories. And we'll be starting with Best Lead Actor. And the nominees are Andrew Garfield as Jonathan Larson in Tick, Tick, Boom, Chris Pratt in The Tomorrow War, Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy, Tom Holland as Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home, and Ansel Elgort as Tony in West Side Story. And the winner is Andrew Garfield as Jonathan Larson for Tick, Tick, Boom. This one, again, was not a surprise in the slightest. This one basically was unanimous among the voters. I don't think there was a single other person who got nominated in this category. So let's move on to Best Lead Actress in a Motion Picture. And the nominees are Emma Stone for Cruella, Gemma Chan for Eternals, Kelly Marie Tran for Raya and the Last Dragon, Scarlett Johansson for Black Widow, and Stephanie Beatriz for Encanto. And the winner is Emma Stone as Cruella de Vil in Cruella. Once again, this was another one that kind of just swept it. There was, like, no other votes for the other nominees, and it's one I pretty much expected to win, I'm not gonna lie. And I do have to point out that a lot of these nominations were not actually nominated in other award shows, which is why they're on this channel. Because I like giving recognitions to ones that the dumbass Oscars do not. So let's move on to Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture. And the nominees are Mike Faist for West Side Story, Willem Dafoe for Spider-Man No Way Home, Paul Rudd for Ghostbusters Afterlife, Tony Leung for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and J.K. Simmons for The Tomorrow War and Spider-Man No Way Home as well. And the winner is Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn, a.k.a. the Green Goblin, in Spider-Man No Way Home. Once again, I saw this coming. I think most of these I pretty much guessed. Most of them, that is. So let's move on to Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture. And the nominees are Florence Pugh for Black Widow, Kristen Ritter for Night Books, Emma Thompson for Cruella, Salma Hayek for Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard and Eternals, and Rita Moreno for West Side Story. And the winner is Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova in Black Widow. And let's just not waste any time and move on to Best Director for a Motion Picture. Chloe Zhao for Eternals, Steven Spielberg for West Side Story, Destin Daniel Cretton for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Tick, Tick, Boom, and Sean Levy for Free Guy. And the winner for Best Director of the Year is Sean Levy for Free Guy. This one was definitely a surprise. I'm not gonna lie, I expected pretty much any of the others to win, I'm not gonna lie. But Sean Levy did a great job with his directing for Free Guy, so I have no qualms about any of the winners, really. So let's just move on to Best Screenplay for a Motion Picture. And the nominees are Tick, Tick, Boom, Trollhunters Rise of the Titans, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Free Guy, and Black Widow. And the winner for Best Screenplay of the Year is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Once again, this one was one that kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting Shang-Chi to win this. I expected Shang-Chi to win other categories, but not really this one. But, you know, once again, I have no qualms about any of these winners, and I don't really have much to talk about with the films in this video because I've already done a ton of other videos on most of these movies. I've already done my reviews on them. So if you want to know my personal thoughts on these movies, go ahead and watch my other reviews. So let's just move on to best remake or sequel, or prequel, or ripoff, anything associated with an already established movie. And the nominees are West Side Story, Cruella, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Venom Let There Be Carnage. And the winner for best remake or sequel goes to Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, this one I kind of saw coming. I saw Spider-Man I actually saw this movie sweeping as many awards as possible, but it didn't, so that was definitely up there. But this one, again, I'm not shocked that it won, considering it already won Best Comic Book Film and didn't expect Venom to win. But I'm glad I'm giving some recognition to some of these other films. Because there's no way in hell the Oscars would nominate Venom Let There Be Carnage for anything. So, why don't they have a Best Comic Book Film? Though, they might as well at this point, although, considering the dumbass fans hijacked the other two categories they made last year, probably a bad idea. So, we're going to move on to Best Visual Effects. And unlike what a lot of you people think, it's not going to contain movies that have good special effects that just suck. I have some dignity on the show. I know what good and bad special effects look like. So the nominees to this category are Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Dune, and The Tomorrow War. And the winner for Best Visual Effects goes to Eternals. And again, like I said way back when, this one should have how did this one not get a nomination? And yet Spider-Man No Way Home did, and No Time to Die, and all those other movies that had no right to having that category. Or Matrix Resurrections. This one definitely deserved a nomination, if not an outright win, and it won here, and once again, this was another one that kind of just swept it. There was, no question that it was going to win at any capacity. So, let's move on to Best Animated Feature. Contrary to what people think, if it is a hybrid live-action and animated movie, it's not going to count. It has to be 100% animated. And one thing I do have to bring up about this during the voting process is that someone put Arcane when I asked for people to give their suggestions for nominations. Someone put Arcane. This ain't a TV show award show. This is for movies. I may do a TV show one down the line at some point, but I don't really think I have enough material from last year to really do anything with it. So we're focusing on movies here, and I don't think that was really clear. And that also created a problem with one of the categories in the Golden Bronx Cheer Awards, but we'll get to that when the time comes. So, for Best Animated Feature, the nominees are Raya and the Last Dragon, Paw Patrol the Movie, Troll Hunters Rise of the Titans, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Sing 2. And the winner for Best Animated Feature goes to Sing 2. This was a shock to me. This really was. I expected either Mitchells vs. the Machines or Troll Hunters, and I personally still haven't seen Sing 2. I'm going to reserve judgment for actually watching the movie. Yeah, I know, shocker, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I haven't, so I'm going to reserve judgment for when I actually watch the movie. And let's not waste any more of your time and move on to Best Costume and Makeup Design. And the nominees are Cruella, Dune, Eternals, The Suicide Squad, and West Side Story. And the winner for Best Costume and Makeup Design goes to Cruella. Once again, not a shock, it did win Best Costume Design at the actual Oscars, so it was kind of a no-brainer that this one was going to win, with, I believe Eternals was a close second, and then Dune took third. Last place in this category ended up being West Side Story, but that's fine. Cruella definitely had some fantastic costumes. I'm one who doesn't really care about fashion or anything. Clearly, I'm wearing a normal ass jacket and a Deadpool shirt while hosting an award show on my YouTube channel. So clearly, I don't care about fashion or my wardrobe or anything like that. But Cruella on its own basically made this category. So I figured it was going to win, but I felt like I kind of had to add it. And don't be surprised if this isn't a category next year if I replace it with something. because I'm not sure if I'm going to have a ton of material for this one next year. Again, like I said, Cruella basically made this category for this year, so yeah, that's basically the reason most people are like, yeah, that one definitely wins. But yeah, even if it wasn't the reason, it still had no right to lose, so I am not surprised and I'm very happy to see it won. And now for Best Picture of the Year. This one is a little bit different because, much like the Oscars did, I gave it 10 nominations. All the other categories had 5. This one I gave 10 because there's just so much material for Best Picture. These other ones, some of these I kind of had to push. I kind of had to push it a bit to actually get 5 nominations. This one, I didn't have a problem coming up with 5. I came up with so many that I'm like, I couldn't choose any of them, so I decided to stretch it out to 10. And so, the nominees are Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Tick, Tick, Boom, Spider-Man No Way Home, Free Guy, Black Widow, Troll Hunters Rise of the Titans, Eternals, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Cruella, and West Side Story. Now, all of these films you all know that I really liked, and yes, the majority of these films did make it as they were on my top 10 of the year. And like I said, these were not me who put the nominations. I polled my Instagram, they gave me the nominations and everything, and it just seems like the general consensus is that these were on a top 10, a lot of people's top 10 lists since they are on my channel, so it's like, it's not shocking that they had a similar opinion. And some of these, like I said, since these were not, some of these weren't even on my top 10. Ghostbusters Afterlife and West Side Story were honorable mentions, and the other two on my list were The Tomorrow War and Venom Let There Be Carnage. So let's just jump right into it. The winner for Best Picture, Best Motion Picture of 2021 goes to Spider-Man No Way Home. Was this a surprise to anybody? I want to know, was this a surprise? Because after it won, I had a feeling most of you guessed it after it already won Best Comic Book Film, and literally 40% of the list is comic book films. I had a feeling it was probably going to win, and it had also won Best Remake or Sequel, and half of these are remakes or sequels. And the only reason it didn't win a lot of other categories is because it didn't get a nomination in those categories. So basically, I think the only category it lost was Best Lead Actor, which was also a Spider-Man actor in Andrew Garfield. But honestly, Spider-Man No Way Home, well-deserved. After it snubbed at the Oscars, this one definitely deserved I am no longer having qualms. Once again, I personally would have liked it better if something like Shang-Chi or Tick, Tick, Boom had won. But after this movie's Oscar snub, I definitely have no qualms about it winning whatsoever. It definitely deserved a win. So that's all. That's the 2021 Premiere Awards. And after this, we'll be doing the Golden Bronx Cheer Awards. So what were your thoughts on this award show? Did you like the winners? Were you supportive of the winners? Do you think there were some movies that should have been nominated that weren't? Do you think there were some that were nominated that shouldn't have been? Let me know down in the comments down below. And so, tune in next time when we do the Golden Bronx Cheer Awards, and I'll see y'all then.